In this lesson, we will learn about the subqueries. A subquery or an internal query or a nested query, all of these are names that are queries within another query and is expressed as part of the sentence. For this example, we want the max unit price from order details. So we can see we have here in the select the order ID, order date, but within the select, before the from, we created another subquery. This subquery looks like a query. It's a query in a query. So select, we want the max unit price from the order details. Now we need to remember, if we want to create a select subquery after the select of another external query, so we need to connect them with where on the column that related between them. So if we call the order details OD, this is the new name, and we have in the external table the order ID, so we know that the order ID belongs to the orders table, and the order ID belongs also to the order details. So this is the related column. We need to connect between them with where. And let's call it this new column as max unit price. So we have the subquery in the select. This is the main query, and this is the connection between the subquery and the main query. What we get, a table, an order ID, that this column is from the main query because it's outside of the subquery. We have the order date also belong to the orders table, and from the subquery we receive the max unit price from the order details. We connect them between the subquery and the main query with where and the related column, the order ID. Let's see it in the SQL server. So let's write it step by step. First of all, we have the select. Let's write asterisk from the order details. In the order details, we have the order ID, and we have the unit price. And this is what we want from the main query. If we run the select asterisk from orders and run this, let's run both of them, we see that the order ID is related to both of them, both of the tables, but in the orders table it's primary key. Each of the orders appears 1, and in the order details it's foreign key. We see that the order ID appears multiple times because for one order there is multiple products. I can order, but in this order there is 3 products with 3 different unit price, and quantity for each product is different, and maybe the discount is different. So we can connect between them, but we need to make sure that we get one row from the secondary, the subquery. Okay. So now from the max unit price, we see that we can have the order ID and the max unit price. Let's call it as so here we see that for each of the order ID we get the highest price. Again, if we run it, only select asterisk from order details, let's run only this, we see that in the 10,248 if we look at the highest price, we need to get 34.8. So if we run this, this is what we get, 34.8. We get for each order the highest price of the product inside the order that the user paid for. So this is why if we run it again from the order details, now we want to connect it with the main. So to connect with the main, we want from the main query select, we want the order ID, the order date, this will have in parentheses, and let's close the parentheses, call it as max unit price. But all of this we want from the orders tables. So we have the orders tables, let's call it all. Now to connect between them, and again we have this, for each order the highest price of the product that user ordered, and we want to connect it with the order date. So the order ID of the orders table and the order ID of the order details table need to be connected. How we connect them? With where. If we call it OD, now we want the OD of the order ID equals to O in the order ID. Now if we run this, we get an error. Why we get an error? Because we can't write in the subquery multiple rows. We need only one row. The connection will give the specific row, the specific order ID to the order ID outside of the subquery. This is why we don't need it. We can erase the order ID and the group by. We just need one row, one value. But when connecting between them, we see that the one value is connected with order ID of the out of the main query. But for each of the rows we have, they get their highest price. So the connection in the where gives for each of the order ID is highest price, and we get the order ID from the orders table. And this is the subquery.